first thing we're gonna have to do is address this mirror, but you'll notice too, dash for the most part is fine until you get to the heads-up display. That cluster gets in my way where putting a towel in there is gonna make this window suck. So we're gonna put a soak shield rope in there instead. Sticker, adhesive down there. I should probably clean off all the bug guts and see if there's anything more in there. But with the new Ford mirrors, a lot of them are smart now. T20, this should pop up and then that slides right off. So on the older ones, there was that push clip in here. Luckily on new Fords, they've generally changed all that. So now let's address all down there. Normally I would put a towel in here, and then if I have extra space, then what I would do is I would put a rope on top of it. I pretty much have space to do the soak shield rope, but I don't really have any space to get the towel in. So I'm gonna wedge that down here. That's gonna help collect extra water. Probably have to adjust that a little bit more. But the main thing is whatever you're using to keep the windshield safe, you don't want that to ever get in your way. Spray this down. I have a tri-edge scrub it. We're gonna go over the windshield. This is a work truck, a very nice work truck, by the way. We're gonna go through, scrub the whole thing down, and then squeegee it top to bottom. Perfect. Now that it's all completely dry, we're gonna put the glass aid around it. I'm gonna line this just past the edge of the dots here. So the inside edge of the glass aid is basically touching the outside edge of the dot matrix border. That way, when I cut in the center of it, I get a nice little border around the entire windshield, but there's room for interpretation on that. You don't have to put it exactly there if you don't want to, or cut it exactly in the middle. You can cut it a little more inwards and you'll be totally fine. The idea here is that you could mess up my cut. It could be a little wiggly, but I'm still covered. Chop this off. Now we're ready to coat it. All right, so we're gonna throw a dryer sheet up here real quick. A couple of spritz. Quick coating. We're gonna throw some 50% Pro Nano on the windshield. This is actually a returning customer. He decided to do the front doors in ceramic. Wasn't really sure what they would do. And now, here we are with the windshield. Because ceramic is friggin' awesome. So we're gonna unroll this across the whole windshield. It's a big boy. Get it there, get the stick a little bit. Cross over the center. Pull in the middle, tack this down, then we're gonna trim this off. There's one side. Flatten out those sides. Loosey goose. Run back over. I should just tint this one. Why am I making a video? center, pull, tack. There we go. We're all set. Smooth these sides out. Fingers are pointing at the bottom, fingers are pointing at the top. Alright, so we're gonna shrink this puppy. If you move the heat gun closer to the film, keep it going back and forth, you can cover a pretty broad range very easily. That's really the trick with shrinking. Always keep your heat gun moving. Don't let it focus too much. Always look where the waves are going. So this is what I call a wave, and you smooth it out in that direction. But always make sure that they're waves first. You press them down too early, that's when you crease. See? Smooths out. Heat it up, smooths out. See these ones? Kind of at that angle, sweep it out. Corners. This is where people always have the most amount of fun. Your windshield goes up and it kind of like angles inwards. So that's why so much film bunches up here. So what I'll typically do is I'll get about this far. See these little waves? Watch where they go when they're sweeping up. Why is this bowing like this? Push some up this way, some up that way. And then next thing you know, pick this up, lay it back down. You readjust this corner a little bit, and then you keep going. Shrink it a little more. It goes like this. So that means it kind of wants to smooth over in that direction. Always watch where the waves are going and make sure they're waves before you start smoothing them out. And you're gonna have way less creases. I haven't even like pulled the film yet. Just heating it up, watching where it's going, and then smoothing it out in that direction. See this? Swooping this way. So we want to push it, smooth it out that way, and now this is laying a lot flatter. You're never forcing film to bunch up in any one of the corners. That's why so many top corners get smushed. And then before you know it, you're there at the end. Hi! Okay, back over on this side. Always give the film time to relax, stretch out, see where those curves and angles are going. See, now look at this. It's kind of like tilted up there. So until all of a sudden it levels out and then start pushing it down. You're always trying to push the film in the direction that it's looks like it's trying to go. Once you can read that, you're going to have a lot easier time shrinking a full windshield. Back up to the top corner. Start pushing this up. Look, it's starting to bow. That means some of this needs to be shrunk over here. Get back up in here. And watch. See how that's curving? A little bit bunched up there. Smooth it out that way. Less bunched up in one spot. Always make sure your film is facing up. There you go. Reading the film is the most difficult part. Once you start to recognize patterns, shrinking becomes so much easier. But it takes a little while and a little trust to kind of figure out what it's doing. Because as you're shrinking, it starts to like wiggle and stuff, but eventually it pulls tight. So you just got to give it more time, especially at the higher and lower areas. All right, now we're going to trim this out. See, this is where I'll cut right in the center of the glass aid, but I don't have to cut in the center if I don't want to. I put it just on the outside border, so if my blade wiggles because I'm going quick, or I go a little farther out, go a little closer in on my cut, like it wiggles back and forth a little bit, that's fine. I just don't want there to ever be any type of a light gap. So I can, as long as I'm cutting on the line, my pattern's gonna turn out great. That's the thing to keep in mind. So on cars where you just don't have very much space, and what I mean by that is pop your head on the inside, look at your borders. If it looks like the panel goes right to the very edge, well then you don't have very much room. You're not tucking that in a ½ inch to the side. So on most windshields, as long as you're like a little 1/8 inch border or so, it gives you a little wiggle room to be wrong, but you cover all your edges. On this one, it's a Ford. I got plenty of space. Ford don't care. They give you all the room in the world to work with. We got the big three around here. I love it. Ta-da! Okay, after I do that, this is going to be personal preference. I'll peel the glass aid off. If you want to keep it on, that's fine. If I mess up, I'm redoing the glass aid, so sometimes it's good to leave it there until you're done with the windshield, but heat gun. So one last shrinking thing is going to be touch-ups on the bottom and the top. So I'll smooth the film out and just extra heat up the very top edges and the very bottom. See that little finger? Because when you shrink the whole window together, past that border, and then you trim it off exact, well, part of that edge that extended is part of the shrink. So it's all effectively holding it together, and you just cut that off. So when you just tighten up those edges, something real quick and simple that you can do, and then ensure that you have way less potential for fingers to pop up on the bottom or the top. You don't want fingers popping up on the bottom. They're a pain in the ass to try and touch up. You usually can do it, but it'll take way more time than just going over it, getting the heat gun close, getting that edge tightened up, and then you shouldn't have a problem. Okay, now the super duper fun part. All the tedious scraping. Always wet down stickers before you try and remove them. That helps when you're slicing adhesive. Kentucky stickers, man. We have Detroit stickers. They're way easier to remove. Whatever adhesive they use for these ones, it's got some grip. Pull that off. Alright. I've been burned one too many times on missing small bits of sticky and glue on a windshield. So I'll take these razor blades, I'll go over the entire thing. But then I'll squeegee it top to bottom. Now, like I said, usually I'll have a towel along with my soak shield rope shoved in there. Depends on how much space that I have. So on this side, it would be completely fine, but then we run into the heads-up display over there. Then after, or actually right now is a good time, wipe all the edges, like no joke. I just get so focused on the glass, I completely ignore edges sometimes, and I can't tell you how much this has helped just going over the edges and the pillars, because all the dirt that you're sweeping off the windshield is going to collect all over the pillars, because that's where you're pushing it. So I'm going to sweep everything once or twice, one side over to the next, all the way down. That way there's no chance for there to be a miscellaneous schmutz right in between. So do that. And I'll get down as far down as I can, but I can use gravity for the rest of it. And same thing for behind that brake light. We have bulldozers. We have tools to sweep behind there. Oh, that was a nice sound. So just make it as thorough and even as you can. First one's for show, second one's gonna be for real. Okay, so that towel, and we're gonna clean off the outside. So you'll notice I didn't cut out the tab. You can cut out the tab, but it's actually really easy to cut that out on the inside. And on the outside, it's a low spot for water to collect. So one thing I want to do is wipe my edges and do whatever I can to prevent water from funneling down in the center. So I've cut out plenty of mirrors, and believe me, if you have a big old housing, just cut it out. Don't try and cut it out on the inside. But for a little mirror tab, yeah, it's fine. Loosen up our liner. Put this back down. But see, that's where, if you soak this edge, water all of a sudden is running down there. And I don't care how many times you cleaned it, there's going to be dirt in there. Peel one corner. Spray. Wheel corner number 2. Cross over that center point. Missed. Don't drop your sprayer on the paint. Lay this down. Now we're going to start rolling this. Tighter the roll, the easier this is going to be to handle. Pick this up, roll the rest of it up. Big ol' windshield. All right. So, reverse roll magic. You guys have seen this trick a million times. Find that liner, stick it to the back side of the tint, and just unroll it. And there you go. So on this one, like I said, we got that. Got that big old heads-up display in my way. So what I need to do is roll some extra film out. We're gonna start putting this on the window. See if I lay this right there, it's not gonna work. So I have to keep unrolling some film, get it past where I need it to go, and then the whole thing can start sliding underneath. And I'm really not changing up anything that I'm already doing. Just unrolling a little bit more film than what I'd like to do. And slowly bring that down. Tuck that in place. And then keep going across the windshield. Notice it was a little bit sticking. Hopefully that's not going to be an issue. And keep going, keep going, keep going. See, now this should pick right up out of there, and you can use this liner to help pulling this across. Let it drop down a little early. There we go. And tuck it in. Damn you, Silk Shield. This is where I grab a tool. I'm gonna try and shove this out of my way even farther. There's that. La-di-da. Cover all my edges. That's good. That's good. See where the top is. Oh yeah. Yep, we're good. So the only thing that we have left to do is going to be trimming out, oh, I got my knife right here. Trimming out this tab. I got so much room to trim out this tab. So you can just do that. Ta-da! Start squeegeeing from the center. Sweet. Now the scarier side, because we don't want anything to be in the driver's line of sight. That'd be especially bad. Now, see, I can't reach behind there, but we got tools to do that. I'm gonna be a not lazy guy. I'm gonna run to the other side. All that. Just like a third brake light. I'm gonna go to this side specifically so I can make sure that I have a good eye on it and I don't accidentally crunch down any film where I don't want. And then we should be good. Probably have a little bit of, you know, like a small finger or two to touch up. But the thing is, what I'll do immediately after I squeegee out the window is I will take a squeegee again. I don't know why I just picked up the hybrid. Both would do fine. But I will flex the blade extra hard and just give some nice even pressure again, because this windshield is setting up. So if I had some extra water sitting in the middle that would take a lot longer to dry out, or an air pocket that I missed, then you're immediately sweeping all of that out. And you shouldn't have any issues. You're always gonna look at it, clean it off, check it out, look at it right after you're done. But do this first. That way you're giving yourself a little bit of extra time to get anything else in the middle, and then whatever you have to touch up should hopefully be just like a small finger on the edge, and it's extra easy to get that kind of stuff taken care of. What's difficult is if you had a air pocket in the middle that's gonna lock itself in. Make sure you sweep it out a bunch of times first. There's my big squeegee. We gotta run back over there. But looking good. I didn't I slipped. I didn't run into anything that I saw while cleaning it out, so hopefully it goes the same for when we dust this off. Ooh, very clean. Very, very clean. Look through it. Looking good. Nice. I like it. Now the most stressful part. Cross your fingers. Obviously one little finger right there by the mirror tab. That's easy. Little heat and dry it out. I'll take care of that, no problem. Where I'm always the most nervous is any type of big hairs or dust spots in the middle. What is that? Right in the center, because that's an automatic redo right here. What is that? There's a big old hair, like a, well, not huge, but like an eyelash type thing. All right, hang on. It's always fun how that happens while I'm in a video. So we're doing we can't save it, we're doing this one again, because this is like this is the worst type of thing that you could ever have on a customer's windshield. Is literally like straight fire forward where you're always looking. Oh my god, what is wrong with me? Remember what we did in the last video? We took care of the corner. I almost pulled out my my soak shield rope. But the good news is it's not all the way down here. It's up a little higher. So we're gonna wipe off the edges, gently pull back our film and go slowly. See, it's not completely tacked, but it is getting relatively sticky. Get past where the imperfection is so you can easily see it, and then get it. Thank God it's a bigger one again. Big enough to like brush out. That's what I like. And I don't take many chances. Just fucking douse it. And then hopefully, it would be easy if all the water just went right out the bottom, but unfortunately, it doesn't always want to go smoothly out the bottom. I mean, this one looks like it's running straight forward, but I kind of want to sweep it back up and out rather than straight through, or at the very least just out the sides, because I don't want it to run into anywhere where I feel like it's going to be an issue, where it's going to like catch and there's going to be a bunch of water and drag up the glue. Good. Bulldoze it. Slightly drier towel. Go back over it. And then this is where it was. And as far as I can tell, it is completely gone. Because that would suck. Those are the worst. Whenever you go through all that, you gotta redo a windshield. But it's really important to go over it again a couple times. Just be extra thorough on looking it over, because you pulled that area up now. That doesn't mean that it's worse. It just means that extra shit could have got in there, and that would be bad. But as far as I can tell, you know, with an action cam sitting in front of my face, we're good. Sweet. That little finger right there, I'll take care of that guy. Button this windshield back up. But it's just a little touch up at this point. Everything's good. Let me know if you have any questions. Thanks for watching.